So in the Trump indictments over January 6th, you get a really good sense of who warned him repeatedly, hey man, what we're doing is illegal, it's not okay, you didn't win the election, there wasn't the fraud that you're claiming there was, you got to stop doing this. And one of the pieces of speculation is, well, how many of those people are cooperating with the prosecutor? And man, we got the reaction from Mike Pence after Trump got indicted. Really was an eye-opening moment where it occurred to me he very well may be working with the feds against Trump. Now, his public position is very soft on Trump. He's got a spine made of jello. And he goes like, he'll mildly criticize him. Like, oh, the only place I disagree with him is I don't think we can just steer the election. Can I please have my stapler? But apparently behind the scenes, he's seething and angry at Trump, and he realizes that this guy's a con man and a fraud, and he put his life in danger. Remember, they were chanting, hang Mike Pence on that day, and they almost got their hands on him. And Trump very famously said after the fact, well, maybe Mike deserves it. Maybe he should have done the right thing. So here's Mike Pence's reaction after we learned about the indictments over January 6th. Mike Pence today issued the following statement on the news of former President Trump's indictment. Quote, today's indictment serves as an important reminder. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. That sounds to me like a wink and a nod, and like, I might be working with Jack Smith. I might take your punk ass down. And look, if he was planning on doing this all along, and if he was doing this all along, maybe him running for president actually makes a lot more sense, because he feels like, well, we're going to clear the field of Trump anyway, because his ass is going to be in prison. Because I got all the goods. I know where all the bodies are buried. I got to be honest with you guys. After this statement, I think he's cooperating. Now, understand, there's parts in the indictment where Jack Smith lays out, here's all of the people who told Trump, you're wrong, this fraud isn't real, what you're doing is illegal, you can't keep going down this path, you're listening to conspiracy theorists and cranks and idiots and losers who are charlatans. And one of the things we learned is that Trump said to Mike Pence, when he was trying to get him to take his ceremonial role and use it to reject the results of the election, Trump says, hey man, you're too honest about this whole thing. I know I'm lying. I know Biden didn't steal the election, but I want you to do this thing that I know is wrong anyway. So where did Jack Smith get that information from? Who told Jack Smith about that? Could very well be Mike Pence. Mike Pence could be testifying, this is what he told me. So in other words, Mike Pence could say, I know Trump knew he was wrong. I know Trump knew the election wasn't rigged. I know he knew that because he said it. Look, if that's the case, he's toast, man. He's toast. Because again, these indictments are absolutely incredibly meticulous and specific. They didn't overreach. You know, nothing went too far. Nothing is borderline. Everything is like, the fake electors are illegal. You're not allowed to set up parallel election infrastructure. You're not allowed to come up with fake fraudulent paperwork and send them to Mike Pence to try to pressure him on January 6th to overturn the results of the election. These things are not okay. So they literally have paperwork. They literally have people who can testify. He knew that this wasn't the case. But by the way, even if they don't, let's just say for a second they don't have proof that Trump knew the election wasn't rigged. The whole purpose of the long list in the indictment is to show any reasonable person presented with the information Trump was presented with would have not gone forward in the way that he did. So even if he truly believed, he convinced himself of his own BS, that, hey, I won the election, you still can't act in the way that you did. And it looks like Pence may be throwing the big beefy boy under the bus. Look, the timeline here is the only question mark, right? The results of this case are supposed to unfold in a way that's after the Republican primary, but before the general election. See, that's chaos. That's chaos. I understand it takes time. I understand they had a lot of work to do to get all this stuff down, but for the love of God, I wish they sped up the timeline a little bit, because really they should have decided whether or not his ass is in prison before the primary, so that we won't have a situation where one of the two major party candidates is behind bars. That looks very, very likely at this point in time. And honestly, not even just because of this. The max sentence for this is 55 years in prison. But also because the classified documents case, I mean, that stuff, I think that's even more of a slam dunk legally speaking. They have people who are flipping on them, trying to hide the security camera footage, obstructing in a variety of ways, taking documents that weren't only classified and top secret, they were the highest classified and top secret documents you could possibly have. Nuclear secrets, for example. So, look, I don't see a way for Trump to get out of this. I really don't. I really don't. But at the same time, the timeline should be concerning to you. Because it's going to lead to absolute chaos in the country. There is no doubt about it. But look, on the merits of the case, I think Jack Smith got him. And I think Mike Pence is probably cooperating. And then that opens the door to the other question. Well, who else is cooperating? Are various, Trump high-level attorneys cooperating? People at the Justice Department cooperating? Are state legislators and secretaries of state cooperating? Because these are all people who have direct firsthand experience in 7 different states where they did the fake electors and Trump was trying to prod these people to overturn the results. If even a few of these people are talking, I don't see a way for him out of this, man. I really don't. The case is also in D.C., very, very Democratic area. The judge is an Obama-appointed judge. Apparently has a record of being toughest on January 6th rioters. It's going down, man. It's going down. This is going to be quite a show. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.